In this knitting podcast, I'm going over all the things that I've been working on recently, including 4 newly released patterns, 2 patterns that are in progress, so you get a sneak peek at those, a few other finished objects, and more. So let's get to it. Hello, my knitting friends. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Christie of Christie Archer Designs, and this is my knitting podcast. Today I'm going to be going over all the things that I've been recently working on, and I am going to start with the newly released patterns. This is October, and this is the month knitters refer to as Socktober. So I have 4 new sock patterns for you guys, and I am super excited about them. Okay, I'm going to start, I think, in the order in which they were finished. So this one was actually featured on Casey. I'm trying to think of her podcast name. I'll pop it up here. She featured this on her pattern roundup for the month, and I was so shocked. So this one has been very popular, and for good reason. It has a beautiful design to it. So this is a new installment to my Simply Irresistible sock collection, and this is worked cuff down. It has a beautiful basket texture weave on the top of the sock, and it has stitches that work with this in order to naturally shape the foot. And I love these. I created them for gift knitting. That was the original, but I found that they fit my feet. I have a really high arch, and these fit my feet without any issues. So if you know somebody that has sock fit issues, this collection is for them. If you are gift knitting, this collection is for you, because you don't have to have specific measurements or anything. This is sized from toddler all the way up to XXL adult. So it is for the entire family. And like I said, you don't have to have specific measurements, just know an approximate size, knit it up, and you are guaranteed to have a great fitting sock for the recipient, whether that be yourself or someone else. I am going to show you the front panel of this. I love this basket weave. And I will also be popping pictures up here of the socks being worn. But that is the Simply Irresistible Sock Harvest Basket. Now available. Everything will be linked below. I did this one out of Yarn Nouveau's Bliss sock base, and I think the colorway was parchment. I will look for the yarn band. These have been done for actually quite a while, but I never got around to, well, I got one sock done and then never got around to making the second one and listing it, so I finally did that this past month. So I'm super excited about that. Next up is, I was looking at my sock collection and realized that there was a hole, forgive the pun, in my sock collection. I had nothing for DK weight, and that is something that I know is very, very popular, especially with gift knitting or with the really cold winter months heading our way. These are great for boots and that kind of thing. So I decided to whip up a design for DK, and this is my classic design. Fits the foot beautifully. This is out of Frankie Gray Fiber DK sock, which is an 80-20, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. This feels like it is a super sturdy sock yarn. It would take a lot to wear a hole in these. This is in the color Kate's Green, and I am obsessed. So yeah, this is and I'll show the front panel. And this is the Simply Irresistible Sock DK, and it is now available, linked below. Okay, I did want to quickly show something that I just thought was very interesting. Like I said on this sock, I had made it a long time ago, like 6 months ago, maybe even longer than that. Anyway, I went ahead and blocked it, but when I made the other one this month, I have not blocked it yet, and I just wanted to show the difference. I know a lot of people don't really block their socks, but I think one good blocking is very important. Look at the difference in the way the stitches look before and after blocking. This is after, this is before, and look at how much smoother these stitches lay versus these. These have plumped up and they've smoothed out, relaxed, and these are still rather, I just think that's amazing. Plus, it definitely helps with the shape of the sock. I don't block my socks on sock blockers, but I do lay them out into the shape. And I mean, these are naturally shaped to the foot anyway, as you can tell, but I just, lay them out. Let me put the unblocked on the front so you can see the difference. So if you're not a sock blocker, you may want to consider it just for gift knitting, if nothing else, just to make them look extra nice. But I say we are worth it ourselves, even if you're not gift knitting. It doesn't take long to soak these and then lay them out to dry. So that's just a little tip. Okay, next up, I'm gonna save this one for last. Next up, I was inspired by Boston Ferns. I love Boston Ferns. And so this pattern is Simply Irresistible Socks Fern. I forgot to mention the Harvest Basket is a fingering weight. These other two are fingering weight. Most of my sock patterns are fingering weight. Okay, so this is Simply Irresistible Sock Fern, and where I was inspired. So like I said, I was inspired by ferns, and this is what I came up with. So this is like the spine of the leaf, and then these are the little, I don't know, I need to research ferns, but anyway, I don't know if you can see where my inspiration came from, but it looks like that's like a fern stem. I thought they were cute. So this is done out of Frankie Gray Fibres sock, fingering sock, which once again is an 80/20. And this is the colorway Moss. And this is what it looks like on the sock blocker. Let's see, there we go. And these are just, love them, love them, love them. And all of the socks that I make in the adult small. So if that helps you any, but literally these socks, even if you made one size up or one size down, they're still going to fit. I don't stress over gauge swatching. I think my gauge is a little tighter than what I write in the pattern, which is funny, just a little bit, but they still fit perfectly fine. These are a no stress sock knitting project. And I know socks can be very stressful to knit. There's no stress with these at all. Pick a size, pick a yarn, knit them up, you're done. It's just so simple. And they make up super fast, even the fingering weight, because there's no fiddliness with the heel construction. But these are not like tube socks in the respect that tube socks, to me, when I try to wear tube socks, they pull and gather funny right here on the arch, and I don't like those at all. So I work very hard to find or create stitch patterns that work with the shape of the foot. So that's what makes these different. Okay, last pair. I'm super excited about these. The holidays are coming, and with the holidays is all of the Charlie Brown holiday specials. And so we're big Charlie Brown fans in the house, and I decided to do a Charlie Brown inspired sock, and these are called Simply Irresistible Socks. Good grief. Let me show you the pattern first, and then I'll show it on the sock blocker. So there's the pattern, and you'll have to forgive, these have not been blocked. So this is Charlie Brown, I'm sorry, Simply Irresistible Socks, Good Grief. And I specifically designed these so that all of them will finish just like this. So, yeah, that was very important to me. Some of them were going to finish like this, and I didn't like that. So I went back and adjusted it so that they all finished the same. So some of them start a little different, but they all end the same. And these are just so much fun. This was yarn that I had on hand in stash. This was Cascade Heritage Burnished Gold, and they work up first of all, love the sock yarn. It works up great. It's not as plump as like a hand dyed or anything, but it still works up great. The color was almost what I wanted it to be. It's not quite Charlie Brown, but I thought if somebody wanted to make a true Charlie Brown set, it would be really cute to do like a black cuff and black toe. So if you really want to do Charlie Brown inspired, you might want to consider doing yellow and black. I thought that would be super cute. So yes, that is Charlie Brown. I keep saying Charlie Brown. Simply Irresistible Socks, Good Grief. And here it is on the sock blocker. And these are, I just do a standard long tail cast on, and they are super, super stretchy. You could do a German twisted cast on, but I personally just do a regular long tail cast on, and then I Kitchener the toe at the foot. These are so much fun to make. I do hope if you haven't tried them yet that you will give them a go. I do think, especially if socks are not your favorite, but you have people requesting them all the time, which was what happened with me. They're just so much fun. All right, on to, that was 4 finished objects. I have one more. Actually, let me talk about this other real quick. I was commissioned from my boss / good friend, hi Debbie, and to make some hats for a work event we had. So the work event was Christmas themed, and so I made up some little Christmas elf type hats, and I don't have them anymore, so I will pop a picture up of them, but they were so much fun. I used, we're in the desert, it's very hot, the event is very hot, so I used cotton yarn, which was fun working on small circumference with cotton yarn. Cotton yarn normally does not bother my hands, but after doing those small circumferences, because it got real tiny, my hands were hurting. That's neither here nor there. They turned out precious. I used white as the main color for all 5 of them, and the colors, we were going with real bright colors, so I chose 5 bright colors, and I'll link I'll list the colors and everything in the description box, but I did a green and white. It was like a bright, I think it was called citrus lime or something like that. and then I did a really bold red. It was a really pretty red. I wanted pink, but I couldn't find a pretty pink for what we were doing. I did turquoise, I did aqua, and what was the other one? It'll be up here in the picture. Those were a lot of fun, and was a nice little break from working on the patterns that I was working on. I did have to think about them, but that's okay. They were a lot of fun. So that I did get done as well. And then the other thing, I'm so excited to share this. I wish I had the buttons. It has taken me forever to decide on buttons for this, but the buttons I finally decided on are amazing, and they are being made. I found them on Etsy. I will link them below. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is my Sticks and Stones cardigan, the crew neck version, and this is made out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in colorway heathered mink or mink heather. Heathered. I've got it right here in my notes. Stones, let's see. Mink heather. All right, so I am so excited about this. All right, this is, and I've got a hair on it. Still has a hair on it. I think I got it now. Okay, extra long cuffs so that it covers your hands, and sleeves that are not tight, but they're not super baggy. The fit of the cardigan is, this one is 2 inches larger than my bust circumference, and has this amazing, super squishy, extra bold, large garter hem that I'm obsessed with. I love the way it fits. I'll pop pictures up here, and I have markers for where the buttons go, and everything is finished off with an Italian bind off, except the garter hem. It's just a standard bind off for that. So yes, another Sticks and Stones for my collection, but what's going to make this even that much more amazing are the buttons. Okay, I have been looking for a long time for buttons for these. I have bought 2 sets of buttons, wasn't crazy about those. My third, these are the best. Okay, Sticks and Stones cardigan, and the buttons that I found are stone buttons. They are hand drilled stone buttons. So every button's gonna be different, and they're handmade, and they are amazing. It is going to be so much fun. So I will definitely link that shop below. These buttons are a must-have for a cardigan in your closet. I mean, how much more perfect could those, I could not have found buttons more perfect for this cardigan than these amazing stone buttons. They are smooth, they are beautiful. I am unbelievably excited to get those buttons in. So by my next podcast, they should be in and on my beautiful cardigan. And knowing me, I will probably be wearing it. So that is it for my FOs. I did not talk about what I am wearing today, so I will talk about that real quick. I apologize for the out of order. I am wearing my I Heart Stripes sweater, and I do want to mention that this particular one does not have the same neck shaping as the finished pattern. The finished pattern, I worked really hard to get just a beautiful rounded neckline. This one comes up a little bit higher. It wasn't rounded as much as I would like to, so the finished one is truly rounded. But other than that, this is an amazing sweater. I love it's a classic silhouette with a fun twist to the fabric. So let me stand up and I will show you. All right, so this is my I Heart Stripes sweater, and as you can tell, it has 3 different set of stripe sequences. And so you really get to have fun. You choose 3 colors. You could choose more if you wanted to, but I have designed it in 3 different colors, and you never get bored making this sweater because you are constantly changing colors, and it is so much fun to knit. I'm going to sit back down and finish talking about it. Okay, so I Heart Stripes, it is a top-down raglan. You do start with the neckline, so there's no picking up stitches. Top-down raglan, and you work all of this in one color, and then after you do the yoke, that's when you start the fun. So I didn't want to start the stripes up here because, well, first of all, I was doing 3 different stripe sequences, but also because doing the stripes with the raglan and all of that, I thought, let's just get this done. You know, you've got the thinking of the increases and everything, and then after that you can have fun with all of the stripes. And I'm obsessed with this sweater. I think it is, you'll never see anything like this in the ready-to-wear world, and the possibilities are endless. This is done out of Blackbird Sycamore. And the main color is Nanook or Nook, I can't remember. The brown color is Sand, and then the black is Black #1, I believe. And on the Sand, I had her do it double or triple the strength. I think it was double the strength. So if you go to her shop and look at Sand, it is lighter than this. Just tell her you want it double the strength. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. And so yeah, that is that. This is a fingering weight sweater, which is a dream to wear. I love knitting worsted, but I love wearing fingering, especially here in the desert. This is a 26 stitch gauge, and oh, it's a 75-25. I knew there was something else I was going to say. So that is this, and I love it. I'm a little bit back and forth today. I did forget to mention gauge on this, and this is an 18 stitch gauge. So there's that. Okay, on to whips. Okay, I am going to start with something that is very, very different for me. This is a crochet project, and I am having a blast with it. I was perusing YouTube and saw this thumbnail that just stopped me in my tracks, literally. And I clicked on it, watched a little bit of it. The thumbnail was what drew me. And as soon as I got the information on the thumbnail, I went and bought the pattern. The thumbnail is just gorgeous. I don't know, does it have the same effect to you guys that it did on me? I was just stunned by the gorgeousness of this project. So it is a scrappy project, and it is a fingering weight scrappy project, though it is a shawl, so you could use whatever weight you want. But I have tons of sock yarn, fingering weight yarn, all of that in my stash, and I wanted to use it up, and this is what I ended up doing with it. So this is called the Granny Stripe Shawl, and I'm making this one for my daughter. I am going to go back and make one for myself though, but I'm going to do different colors for myself. My daughter's really into the fall colors, deep moody colors, and so she should just, and she loves wearing shawls. She wears the shawls that I have made all the time. So I feel good that shawls are getting worn because I don't normally wear them, but this one I think I will. It's just so much fun. Okay, and of course it is nowhere near blocked or anything, but look at this, how much fun. And I'm going to wrap it around me. Let's see, because I've got my end right there. She designed this so that it will actually wrap around. I mean, it sits on your shoulders just beautifully, but it's really, really long. I think it's 72 inches, or I don't think it is. Hers is finished at 72 inches, and so it just wraps and just, it is just amazing. This pattern is amazing. If you are looking for, and for me, this is just a no-brainer. I watch it, I work on it while watching TV, or if my brain just needs a break, this is my go-to. I'm not a heavy crocheter. I know how to. I crochet before I knit. So, you know, this is not hard for me at all, but it's granny stitches. It's 3 double crochets in. You don't have to worry about, am I picking up the front leg? Am I picking up the back leg? Am I going through the stitches? Am I going in between the stitches or whatever? It's so easy to tell what you're doing if you're not familiar with crochet. Granny stitch is the easiest thing. That's why you see it in so many things. But yeah, this is what I have thus far, and I'm dying over it. So what I've been doing is I went through my stash or my scraps and pulled together a collection of colors that worked well together. I don't know how many I ended up with, and I think it ends up with somewhere around 40 stripes total. So I'll have to look and see, but this is what I have left that I have not used yet. And then what I did was I tossed all of the scraps in this bag. And then as I used the scraps, I started tossing them in this bag. And so once I'm done, everything will be in here, and then I will start again. I'm not going to do a specific order, but I just wanted to make sure that everything was being used, even though some of the colors are very similar. So anyway, that's how I'm doing it. And I'm literally, if I get in the middle of a row and I've run out of yarn, I just magic knot a new one. With crochet, to me, magic knots are not that big of a deal. It doesn't change the look of the stitches or anything. Like with knitting, if you've got a magic knot in the middle of stockinette, you're gonna see it. With crochet, you really don't. So, oh my gosh, and now that I try it on, I kind of like the colors that I've got for her. It is just, I mean, this is so much fun. Okay, enough gushing. This is a fun project. I am personally using a 2.75 millimeter hook. Use whatever gets gauge or makes you happy, because again, it's a shawl. It's not like you need a specific gauge, but that's what I'm personally using. I think she recommends a 3 millimeter, but I didn't like the fabric that I was getting with that. And honestly, I could have even gone down to a 2.5. And I wouldn't say that I am a loose crocheter or a tight crocheter. I'm not a loose knitter or a tight knitter. Mine tend to be right on gauge with yarn balls or, you know, standard stitch per yarn weight kind of thing. So I feel like I'm right down the middle, but I did want these stitches to be have a lot of structure to them. So anyway, granny stripe shawl. I wish I could remember the designer's name, but it will be up here, so you'll be able to see that, and everything will be linked below. Okay, who is ready for some sneak peeks at some upcoming patterns? Yay! Okay. So I can't remember if I said this or not, but I have literally shot this podcast 4 times. This is my 4th time. Something has gone awry every single time. When I go to edit, something happens. So this is my 4th time. When I shot this the first time, this had not even been started. Today, or last night, I finished the body. So you get to see this fairly far into it. This is an addition to my Sticks and Stones collection. So I have Sticks and Stones cardigan, the original, which is the crew neck. Then I recently added Sticks and Stones cardigan V-neck. This is my Sticks and Stones pullover. And this is a crew neck, and I'm so proud of my rounded neckline. So you do start with the neckline. You do German short rows for the shaping. It does have raglan increases, and you work the body straight, and then you do this amazing squishy garter hem. And to keep the garter looking nice on the side seams, I have done a slip stitch on both sides. Obviously it has not been blocked yet, but oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this. So this is done out of Knit Picks Knit Picks High Desert worsted in the colorway Birch Tweed, and this color is so much fun. It's very heavily tweeded, as you can tell by looking at it. That's a lot of tweed, and it is just so much fun to work with. This yarn is 100% American wool. Well, I think the tweed has something else in it, but the High Desert wool itself is 100% American wool. To me, it feels just like merino. I have made one of my Sticks and Stones, the V-neck version, out of this. I have worn it. Absolutely no pilling thus far. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, that it stays that way. I mean, I expect over time there to be some pilling, but it is certainly not as pilly as merino. And like I said, it is just as soft. So I'm very pleased with this yarn. And I'm excited to have this off the needles. I know we are still in the hundreds every day. We did cool off yesterday. Last night, it was very nice. And I went out this morning and it was super nice this morning. So maybe things are starting to cool off. I'm so ready for my fall knits. I want to wear them. So yeah, I'm excited. This will be finished off once again with Italian bind off on the cuffs, and the hem is just a standard bind off. I did a stretchy bind off for my hem, and I may do a tutorial on that. It's not necessary, but I made sure when I bound off on a pearl round, and then I do something for a stretchy bind off where I'll purl in the stitch, bind off one, and then I twist that stitch before I do the next one. Twist, purl, bind off, twist, purl, bind off. That's how I do it, and it makes a nice little stretchy bind off, and it keeps you from having that chain look on the edge because it's twisting that stitch, so it gives it a neater appearance. I don't know if you can really tell, but it doesn't have that specific chain. It gives it a little bumpy look, which works really well with garter. So that is the Sticks and Stones pullover, to be released hopefully very soon. Let's see, if you wanted to see a yarn band, there's the yarn band and yarn information. And I love this project. I'm very partial to the Sticks and Stones collection. There's just something about that garter hem that I'm obsessed with. Hold please. Okay, next up is a new pattern that I am working on. And if you watched my sweater roundup for the patterns that I wanted to make this fall, there were a lot of striped patterns in there, which I am really into stripes right now. So I went back and looked at them because I was ready to cast something on, and everything's drop shoulder. And drop shoulder's just not my go-to. I love a good raglan pattern. It looks better on me. I'm a little broad-shouldered, so the raglan shaping fits me better and is more flattering on me. Plus, I just prefer the construction of it. So I searched Ravelry to see if there was something that fit my needs. I wanted a certain weight, and I wanted the stripes, and I wanted raglan. There was zero available, nothing. I could not believe it. Something as simple as a striped raglan pullover. So I was like, okay, I need to fill this void. And so this is what I came up with. I'm super excited. Sorry. Okay, so this one is a tunic length. Okay, so this is called the Laken Pullover. It is going to have 3 different neck options and 2 different length options. You can do it striped or solid. I'm going to be showing all these different looks. So I'm making 4 sweaters total for the samples. This particular one is the tunic length, and I am beyond excited. Okay, so top down raglan. We have the nice squishy 1x1 neckband with beautiful shaping. The raglan increases, and this one I have made, I believe this one, it has 4 inches of positive ease. Yes, this one has 4 inches of positive ease because with it being a tunic, I wanted to make sure I had plenty of room around the hip area. So this is what I have. And sorry, it has been folded. And obviously I have not woven in that end yet. But this is it. And oh my goodness, I am so excited. I'm making all of these out of Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino. And this is in the colorway Coal, I believe, and Marzipan. The only reason I'm hesitating on Coal is because I think I've got another yarn. Yeah, so I have 2 yarns named Coal from 2 different companies. But Knitting for Olive, colorway Coal, and it's just a perfect black. Just a perfect black. It is black through and through. It is not a purple black. It isn't an orange black. It is just black. And the Marzipan I'm obsessed with. Let's see, I've used some of this, but Marzipan, that color is just scrumptious. I love it. All right, this is at an 18 stitch gauge and whips up super fast, has a 1x1 hem and Italian bind off and fun stripe sequence. And this one I'm going to be wearing with black leggings and black calf or knee-high boots, calf-high, whatever. They come up just underneath my knees. I actually have a pair that go above too, but Yay! What do you guys think? Do you guys prefer, do you prefer drop shoulder or do you prefer raglan? I know drop shoulder is a whole heck of a lot easier to grade pattern-wise, you know, looking at it from a design standpoint, but I just prefer making and wearing raglans. So tell me your thoughts on that. And we'll discuss the yarns I have lined up for the other three in just a minute. So let's see, I've done, I do have other works in progress that I'm working on in the background. I've shown them before and they're slow moving. So I was like, I'm not gonna show them, but that is the garter blanket that I've been working on. I'm still slowly making progress on that. And then my Knitting for Olive rib tee, and that is an unbelievably slow project, but the end result I am going to be obsessed with. I know I am. I have enough to make, I think, 4 of those total, and I'm gonna love every single one of them, but they are a labor of love at 30 something stitches. I think mine's 32. I think I went tighter on my gauge and up on my size. So yeah, I think it's 32 stitches, and it's a ribbed pattern, so it's really hard to say. I don't know. Anyway, it's a lot of stitches. I think it's like 300 stitches around the body. So yeah, it moves slow. So those are going on in the background still. I haven't given up on those. They're just, I don't want to show them right now because I've only made however much progress. Okay, so that's works in progress. Let me make sure I got all of those. Yep. And okay, so I'm going to now discuss the future projects I have lined up. And I'm going to start with the Lakens, the Laken pullover, the yarns I have for those. So the first one is done out of Coal and Marzipan, Coal being the main color. This next one I'm doing with Oatmeal being the main color. And then Thundercloud is the stripe color. And this one I am doing with, this will be the standard length. The other one's the tunic length. And I think I'm going to be doing the folded over neckband for this one. And I love those colors together. Oh, so great. That Oatmeal, both of them, and together, that's gonna be so great. Okay. The next one, this one's going to be the solid tunic, and this one is called Hazel. And there it is. This with denim, oh, it's gonna be so good. So good. Or I have a navy chambray, and it's navy and white chambray linen button down under this with black leggings. Oh my gosh. So again, all of these are Knitting for Olive, heavy merino, and hazel. Cannot wait. And then the last one is going to be the regular length, and I think this one is the one of these, but I think it's going to be this one is the one that I do the mock neck out of. So it's going to come up but not be enough to fold down. Really excited about this. And this one is called, the color on this one is Dusty Petroleum Blue. And colorway Dusty Petroleum Blue. This is going to be just Love it, love it, love it. And again, I can see it with the crisp white shirt underneath and black leggings, or since it's going to have the mock neck, I'll probably just do black leggings or like a gray heathered legging. That's gonna be amazing. Super excited about those. Okay, next up I am doing also, this will be the third pullover for the season. I haven't started on this pattern yet. I want to finish these other two first, but my third one is going to be the Chestnut Grove, which is the cardigan that I have here in the background. I am doing a pullover version of that. Now, if you're not familiar with the Chestnut Grove cardigan, I show it in a sport weight, which is what you see here. And I also show it with a fingering and a mohair. So my fingering mohair pullover is being done out of this amazing yarn. This is my first time working with this particular yarn. I want everything made out of this yarn. This yarn is amazing. Okay, it's Knit Picks Caprita, and it is an MCN, so merino cashmere nylon, and this is the colorway Eclipse Heather. And I am holding that, which is a shame to hold anything with this, but like I said, I had never worked with this before, and so I just ordered it. I almost hate to put this with it, but I'm doing it with, holding it with a mohair. This is Aloft, which if you're not new here, you know how obsessed I am with the Aloft mohair. It is super, super, super soft. It is not scratchy at all. Highly recommend this if you have a hard time with mohairs being scratchy. Give this a try. I really do think you'll like it. I do wish they had a larger color selection, but the colors that they do have are very nice. And I was trying to see, the colorway on this one is called Black. So these two will be a Chestnut Grove pullover. And you talk about luxury. Oh, this is just so amazing. Ooh. I can't wait to cast this on. All right. Next up, I have, my mother has requested a Sticks and Stones cardigan, the crew neck version. And so I picked up some yarn to do hers. I wanted to pick up something nice, but easy to care for. So I ended up with the yarn that I have used before. I love it. I really, really, really do love it. It is an acrylic wool blend, and it is called Heatherly. This is another Knit Picks yarn, and it is, if you are looking for a yarn that is good for gift knitting, I highly recommend this. And the colors they have, it's not a huge selection, but every single one of the colors are amazing. Just beautiful colors with they're all kind of muted but have depth to them. They're just beautiful. I love them. So I am making my mother a Sticks and Stones cardigan crew neck out of this, and I cannot wait to cast that on and get that to her. Hope you like it, Mom. I looked for navy blue because I think that's what she really wanted, but they didn't have a navy in this, so I opted for the gray, and it is called, I think it's like raccoon, Recess. So super excited about this, and this is, it does not feel like acrylic. Has just enough wool in it to, you know, get rid of that plasticky feel of acrylic. So yeah, very excited about that. And then I have 3 more lined up, and I know that's a lot, but I will have time to work on new designs. The next 3 things that I have lined up, I think I'm just going to be doing more of the Sticks and Stones pullovers. May do some as a cardigan. I'm not exactly sure yet, but these are going to be either Sticks and Stones cardigans, Sticks and Stones pullovers, combinations of. May even possibly do a Chestnut Grove pullover out of one of these. So it may end up being like one of each kind of thing. But okay, so I have a pair of shoes, I'll pop a picture up, that my husband got me for my birthday, and I'm kind of obsessed with Nike blazer tennis shoes, high tops, and I love wearing them with leggings, with my overalls, with whatever. They just go with everything. So he got me a pair, and they're like this color and this color. It's like this color shoe with this color swish. So I got both of the colors, enough to make a sweater out of each of them. And I thought after the fact, that was when I designed the Lakin pullover, and I thought, oh, this would be kind of cool as a Lakin pullover too. But I got enough quantity to make 2 full sweaters, and that would only be 1 sweater. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm either going to make 2 separate sweaters, or the Lakin pullover, do this is the main color and this is the stripes. That would be pretty darn cool. But anyway, so this color is Oyster Heather. And to me, this one's not very heathered. Is that just me? To me, it looks like a solid, which I have no problems with. I love solid. But to me, it doesn't look like a heathered. And it may just be the dye lots that I got. I'm not sure. Do love it, though. It's going to be just a beautiful, it can wear it for the next 50 years kind of sweater. And then this one is Pea Pod, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Pea Pod, which I think I'm kind of in a green phase. I mean, I still love my neutrals, but when I get a color, I tend to be getting greens instead of blues here recently. Okay, and then this one is Coal. And so, yeah, I will be making cardigans / pullovers out of each of these. All right. Last thing I wanted to talk about, let me get a sip. Okay, last thing I wanted to share. Sorry about the crinkling. I have been trying to figure out needle storage in a way that works for me. So 90% of the time I use my ChowGoo interchangeable needles, which I don't have in here. I'm sure you're familiar with the case that it comes in. I've got the full set. I don't love the case. The needles are always, it's a very soft case, and the needles kind of slide around. Yes, it's zippers. They don't fall out of the pockets, but they don't stay in their little pockets either. And I don't like that finding the right cord is just a nightmare. So I think about a year or 2 ago, I showed you guys how I organized my cord storage, and that works, but it still wasn't perfect. So if you're not familiar, let's see, I don't think I have them here. No. I had bought these little, almost like lanyard, the little pockets that you put your stuff in. It wasn't a lanyard, but it was similar to that. Anyway, it was these little plastic zippered envelope type things, and I was able to stick a piece of paper in there saying what the cord size was and what size needle it went to, because with ChowGoo you have different cord size for different size sets of needles. So about a year or so ago, I bought a binder, and I bought some zippered pockets to go in there to organize my fixed circular needles. And again, I just stuck a piece of paper in there saying what, you know, size the needle was and everything. And I really like this storage. So I've been looking, I can't find anything for the needles themselves, so I am going to be making a needle page. I bought these, and that's what the crinkle is. I'm gonna try to hold it without too much crinkle. I bought these from Knit Picks, and I would have just bought their binder, but I was reading reviews on their binders and people were saying you can't put a lot of pages in there, and I want to be able to put a lot of pages in there. So I was like, I'm just going to buy my own binder where I know I can put a lot of pages in. Well, the holes don't line up. So I am, and honestly, I would have to do some work to these anyway because I use short needles, the 3.5 inch or 4 inch, whatever it is. I don't use the 5 inch needles. And these pockets are made for the 5 inch and my needles go too far down in there. I know because I bought a Knit Picks clutch, which I love, but it's for the long needles. It was before they came out with the short needle clutch. And my needles go all the way down in there. I digress. Anyway, so this is what I came up with. I bought another binder and I found these little pocket pages. So you have this little flap and the I just put my cords down in there. For right now, I just have a simple little piece of paper that goes in there. I am going to do something a little bit nicer, but I have all of my cords organized. Oh, I can show you the page that I was using previously because I popped these in here. So this is what I was using previously, and it was just a bunch of these individual, and I couldn't just flip through them easily and grab what I needed. So I did keep all of my end caps and the little screw to connect the cords and everything. So I've got all of that, and I just pop that down in one of the pockets. And that works beautifully. So I am going to add to this, I am going to make a page for my needles. And I've got a couple of different ideas. I have a couple of extra pages like this, and my needles will fit down in these pockets perfectly. But they would be sliding around and I wouldn't be able to see what size they are and all of that. So what I think I'm going to do is either this, where I put a piece of paper in the pocket with holes for the needles to slide through, and on that piece of paper I can label the needle sizes, so the holes will keep the needles in place, and the paper I will be able to label all of the needle sizes. And so I can just open my flap, grab my needles, close my flap, so on and so forth. I think that's what I'm going to do if I can get the paper concept to work. I'm hoping it will. Or I'm going to take the Knit Pick pages and modify them, cut off the place where the holes are, and make the needle pockets shorter and add the holes properly for the proper distance and everything, and just use these in there. But I will have to do a flap since this is a snap open. The needles might slide out, and so I would have to create some kind of flap to keep them from sliding. So I may do this, I may do that, or I may just make a custom page from scratch. So then one other thing that I do in my binder is my T-pins. I keep a couple in the Chalgoo binder or the Chalgoo case. The pockets are lined with a satin ribbon, and I can just stick a couple of my T-pins in there through between the ribbon and the fabric, and those are quick and easy access. I have plenty of T-pins in the little packages, but those are not quick and easy access. So to remedy that, I bought some felt, and I'm going to turn these into pages, and I can just stick my T-pins in here for quick and easy access. And I may make a little pocket for scissors, or I don't know, a couple of other little things, and put them in here. My daughter picked out this color to go with the rose gold of the binder. And then to make the binder look pretty, I picked up this scrapbooking paper, and I will add the holes to it and do it as the front page. And I can change this up as I get bored, because I get bored easily when it comes to these kind of things. So I thought that was super fun. And all of this was like less than $20 for everything. So I'm pleased with it. I think it is going to be a very workable storage solution. And what do you think? Do you guys, I'm an organized freak, and I want everything in its place. I want to be able to reach for something with a blindfold and know exactly what I'm getting. So anyway, that's kind of why I wanted this. I can just easily access everything. Everything is labeled. It should just be a breeze. I'm super excited about it. So let me know your thoughts. Are you interested in me linking any of this stuff? If you are, comment below. Otherwise, I'm not going to link all of this stuff. Excuse me. So yeah, that is that. And I think that is it for today. If this type of content is your ball of yarn, please consider liking and subscribing, as it will help my channel reach more people just like you, and we can all get involved and enjoy the discussion of sharing something we are passionate about. So until next time, I hope that you enjoy whatever it is you're working on. Bye.